Good morning. Good morning. Morning. May the Lord bless all of you. Thank you for this great opportunity. I mean, if you're passionate about civil rights, as I am, this is the place you want to be. This is where it all started, and I am thrilled to be here. I want to thank President Johnson, Vice President Russell. I want to thank Hillary as well for his leadership in all of this process, and everybody that has made this event possible. You know, I want to start by telling you a story about one of the founding fathers, one of the forefathers of Puerto Rico. His name was Jose Barbosa. Jose Barbosa was born in the 1800s, a man of not very many resources. He was of African descent, came to Puerto Rico, and started developing into one of the premier leaders of our island. But it wasn't without obstacles, as you know. He wanted to become a medical doctor, and he had all of the credentials to do it. So he got accepted into the University of Michigan as one of the first in Puerto Rico to do so. Now, why did he have to go to the University of Michigan? Because he was not accepted in the University of Puerto Rico, where he came from, because of the color of his skin. He had to come to Michigan as a black Puerto Rican and teach everybody what he could do. He became the valedictorian there. And once he had that experience, and mind you, this is the late 1800s, he saw the interesting project that the United States of America was unfolding. He knew, by all accounts, that equality was not there, but that the aspiration for equality was a project that he wanted to be part of. That man, whom we celebrate 161 years next week, is one of our forefathers and is the father of the statehood movement in Puerto Rico. Now, why is this important? Puerto Rico has had a very strong history of civil rights limitations. We were first colonized by Spain, and we were a possession of Spain for 400 years. In the Hispanic American War, Puerto Rico was passed to the United States, and then a couple of years afterwards, we were granted U.S. citizenship. With that U.S. citizenship, our men and women fought side by side in all of the wars, having Puerto Rico have the highest per capita rate of military personnel in all of the United States compared to other states. We have battled, but unfortunately, we still don't have equal rights. The people of Puerto Rico, the U.S. citizens of Puerto Rico, cannot vote for our president and our commander-in-chief. We cannot vote for a voting member of Congress. We don't have equal rights when it comes to Medicaid, when it comes to education, and when it comes to other programs. It is time to make a change and end colonialism. Colonialism in the 21st century is segregation in the 21st century. Now, a lot has happened, fortunately, in the past couple of years that has given new light to this conversation. Puerto Rico is now, as was Washington, D.C. at one point, under the guise of a fiscal oversight board, completely sidetracking our democratic rights in Puerto Rico. If that wasn't enough, Puerto Rico also felt the pain of the most devastating disaster in the modern history of the United States, and all of you saw it and are seeing it on your screens. And after seeing that impact, many people in the United States that did not know we were U.S. citizens now know that we are a full part of this nation. But it was also clear that U.S. citizens in Puerto Rico don't have the same rights, that we were treated differently than other citizens in Texas and Florida and other parts of the United States. And that is simply not the way that the United States needs to go. That is simply not part of the fabric of the great nation that we support. And that is why I am so proud to be here. That is why I am so grateful for your leadership, for embracing the only way we can get equal rights, equal participation for the people of Puerto Rico, which is getting that 51st star on the U.S. flag and making Puerto Rico a full state of the United States. And we need to do it because there's a lot of issues connected here. I think a lot of you saw past week when a young Puerto Rican woman in Cook County had reserved a place to have a meeting, a party with her family, and another individual started insulting her and berating her because she wore a Puerto Rican flag. This all happened in front of police officers that did not stand up to that sort of bigotry that is not part of what we've been fighting for the past centuries. And this is exactly the type of hate we need to change. This is exactly why I support the slogan, the mantra here in this convention, where we need to end hate, and we need to go out and vote to end that hate. And we need to do so because, whether we like it or not, it is gut check time for America. It is the time for us to realize and to define what we want to be in the future. Do we want to be the standard bearer of democracy in the world, or do we want to have hiccups in our own backyard, where 3.5 million U.S. citizens have chosen not once but twice in the past 5 years they want to become a state, and nothing has happened? Do we want to give way to bigotry and hate, or do we want to start a conversation of decency and common courtesy and equality for everybody, and showcase that United States is the place to do so? You have stood up in the past. You have made the difference in the past. You have fought for our civil rights, for our way of life, for inclusion, for welcoming others that are different, for making that a piece of the fabric of the United States, for making us greater in that context. So today, I stand before you humbly to ask you once again for your support. Ask you, as John Lewis did in the past, to support, not to support. I'm asking you to rise up and stand up and support Puerto Rico. I'm asking you to stand up for civil rights. I'm asking you to stand up and fight for equality. I'm asking you to give way to our life and to not shy away from the battle that is ensuing for our civil rights, for our liberty. With you together, we will build a better Puerto Rico and a better nation. God bless you, and thank you.